Hi everyone, Michelle Bailey here, your 2026 president of Idaho Realtors, and I am here with
Max Pond, your government affairs director.
Okay, Max, we are headed to RLM in Washington, D.C. in a little over a week. Tell us, what's it all about?
Yeah, Realtor Legislative Meetings used to be called mid-year. Really, it's a week of advocacy. And when I say a week, I mean it really is a full week of policy briefings, updates from NAR about issues going on at the national level. Me as a government affairs director, I get to meet with my counterparts from around the country, talk about things happening in state houses all across the country, which is a great perspective. Kind of the highlight though really is this year on Wednesday, June 17th, we'll have our Hill visits, which is an opportunity for us to meet with all 4 members of the Idaho congressional delegation. Those meetings are led by our FPCs, federal political coordinators. So it's a full week of advocacy and really getting updated on the issues of the day.
So Max, I go every year as with the hat of a realtor, and you go with the hat of a government affairs director. What's the difference?
Well, oftentimes government affairs director is a fancy way of saying lobbyist, you know? And I think that the perspective that you guys bring as licensed realtors, practitioners in the real estate space, the perspective that you bring to those meetings, to those members of Congress, I think it hits on a different level. Again, you guys are their constituents. You guys are the folks on the ground in the real estate world in the state of Idaho. So when you say it's a problem, when you say this is how this is affecting my business, my clients, I think they hear it a lot more than just me going up there and talking about it.
Fair enough. So I will add to, and I'll ask you, like, what are some of the issues that we are getting into? But in previous years, I think one of the things that's really cool is when we're meeting with them, we're also sharing very specific stories of how our consumers are affected by the laws that they are contemplating and really debating, which I think is a big deal, right?
Yeah, well, and I think this year is a great opportunity to share those stories because it's not often that there are housing bills making their way through the legislative process at the national level. Right now, we actually have 2 pieces of legislation that NAR has been working on that we can talk to them about and let them know, those members of Congress, how those policies would affect our clients. Those 2 bills, one is the 21st Century Home Act, kind of a deregulation, incentivizing new properties to come online, and then the More Homes on the Market Act, which is kind of a tax-related capital gains approach. So it'll be interesting to be able to share how those policies will impact your clients on the ground. All right, Michelle, we talked a little bit about my role going as a government affairs director. I know you've been there before, but obviously you're going this year as the president, as the leader of this organization. So what is that, how's that going to be a little bit different this year from years past?
Well, I'll have to keep you posted. But in all funniness aside, it'll be always fun. You're just running from different event to event and connecting with members. You are connecting with other realtors from across the nation, obviously, finding out how they do things, how that might affect Idaho, or how we can learn something from them and take it back. We're learning things that help with our business to some degree, but really it's more about the advocacy part and how Idaho shows up. And a lot of people look up to Idaho and what it is that we do because on the national level, because we do accomplish a lot for such a small little state.
Well, and kind of going away from the advocacy part, some of the actual work that you'll be working on, because I know you're highly involved in the MLS committees at the national level. What kind of work will you guys be doing that week?
Yeah, thanks. Well, last year I was chair of MLS policy. This year I'm chair of advisory board. So the advisory board doesn't necessarily have an in-person meeting when we're there, but we do have MLS forum that we kind of help facilitate. And then I do still attend MLS policy. So there's lots of conversations that are happening still at the MLS level that I'll be involved in addition to the regional meetings that we have. And in addition to the RPAC like the Hall of Fame stuff, and then just other meetings surrounding advocacy.
Very cool.
You know, before I started going to these meetings with a specific role, meaning whatever volunteer position I held at the time, right? They will often help support you to go to the meeting. I actually paid to go myself, and I really enjoyed it because, one, I like the political side, even though I'm not fully aware of everything that happens, and I would never consider myself an expert. Just to hear the conversations and to know what's going on and to be part of it, I think helps me as a leader, but it also helps me with my consumers. And I think it's valuable for anyone that wants to go, regardless of your volunteer position.
Yeah. I mean, how often are you going to be able to get a kind of a focused audience with members of Congress? It's pretty great opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, in addition to that, Michelle, I do want to mention two other things. We're going to have the RPAC Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I think it's on Tuesday of that week during DC. Idaho actually has 5 inductees going into the Hall of Fame. So it's great to see them recognized for their great investment into RPAC, their investment into their industry. The last thing I'll mention is a reception for all Idaho Realtors in DC that week at King Street Oyster Bar. It'll be a great time to have some food, have some drink, and relax.
And network, of course, with other realtors from around the state.
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorite places.
Absolutely.
Max, what's one thing you would want Idaho Realtors to take away from the experience in DC?
Yeah, well, it's kind of something that I said a little bit earlier. I think it's just a really great opportunity for people to get an audience with their members of Congress. It's not oftentimes that you get to have those face-to-face meetings on the ground advocating for not just things that you're interested in, but things that affect your clients and your livelihood.
And I would just add, it is so cool, like goosebump kind of cool, to see the thousands of realtors that are on Capitol Hill all meeting with their congressman, right? Mm-hmm. So it is very cool.
Yeah.